I faced it all, and I stood tall and did it my way. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome back if you've been here before, and if it's your first time, thank you for being with me, and I hope you like the video. And please like, subscribe, and share the video to your friends. And I'm hoping that this sit down session will be useful, particularly to people that are considering studying abroad. And to my friends back home, I hope that this is also going to be it's going to give you an idea of how I've been dealing with things on this end of the world, on this part of the world. So let's get to it. Hi again. Today's video is basically going to be me reviewing the last semester and also reviewing what I've learned the last semester. Like I said on my introduction video, I am doing my master's in environmental sciences at University. So I'm from South Africa, and I've been here now for about 6 months. So I've been here for quite some time, and there's a lot of lessons I have along the way. So I made a note of some of the things that I've learned, and I thought to share with you and sort of expand on the points, because I made about 5 points. And then towards the end of the video, I'm going to talk about something that if you're considering or you've been given an opportunity to go study abroad and you have kids, that you might be thinking about, right? So the first point that I have, or something that I learned, is that you need to empty your mind. So like I said, I'm an environmentalist. When I came here, I thought I know some things. And given the fact that I've been in the industry for about 6 years now, and 6, 7, 8, depending on how you look at it, because I was an intern for 2 years, then I started working. So I really believe that I have some experience, right? But what I'm realizing is the fact that if you approach learning with the idea that you have something already that you know, it makes it difficult for new information to come in, because your head or your mind is filled with these ideas that you already know something. Whereas when you come in to study, you need to be teachable. You need to allow for your lecturers to give you new information, and you need to have to face the idea. You need to be able to face the idea that you might not know as much as you thought you do, right? So when I first arrived here, the way that the course is structured, it's very technical. It's got a lot of engineering classes, and I did not want to accept that. I was just like, no ways, no. So it just took a lot of time, I guess, as well, for me to adjust to the course material itself, the things that we're being taught. And when I arrived here in Denmark, they do this thing called problem-based learning, and we do studying in groups. So there was also a bit of a challenge, because when you work in groups, it's not just about the quality of the work or the work itself. It's also about the personalities that you have to manage and be able to understand the fact that not one person gets their way. Everybody has a say, and everybody's say needs to be respected. So it was getting used to all of those things, and I figured that being open-minded goes a long way. And also just being opened up to the idea that some people can teach you things. Sorry about that. Let me just mute my phone. Yeah. It's Bay. I'm muting Bay for you guys, so you must know you're important. Right. Anyway, yeah. So that's the first thing that I learned with regards to schoolwork. Otherwise, I have been adjusting. Initially, when we first got here, we were doing classes, live classes, but this semester we're doing online classes, and it's a bit difficult because I've never done that before. It's the first time that I'm doing that. It really takes a whole lot of discipline to be able to, because I'm doing everything in the same space. I live here, I sleep here, and the same space has to be like my office. So I have been adjusting to that, and it's been a bit of a difficult thing to adjust to, but I think I'm slowly getting the hang of it. And this semester is a lot more engineering courses than last semester. So you understand that making peace with the fact that there's going to be new things that I don't know last semester is making it easy for me this semester to just go with the flow, like, oh, more engineering. Okay, cool. Let's go. you know? Yeah. And then getting to my personal life and the personal life aspect of things, of studying abroad, I have come to observe that some relationships will fail. Some friendships will not work the same way, maybe that they did when you're back home, and that's okay. I think when I left home, there are people that I knew that this person is my person and whatever, but we don't even talk anymore. And some of it is because I don't have the time to initiate the relationships, or they're also just busy to initiate the relationship with me. So things are just, and it's okay. I think the other thing that I'm learning is that we are growing up, we're busy. We are busy, and we're at a point where even if we don't talk all the time, I know that like these people that I'm talking about, if they ever hit me up and said they're in trouble, I'll be there for them. But we can't do the day-to-day anymore, and that's also okay. So expect that some relationships will just not work the same way that they used to, and that's fine. And also the other thing that I learned and I wanted to share with you guys is with regards to the relationships that you want to keep close to. That is now romantic relationships, family relationships, your kids, or if you have kids. In my case, I do have a child. I'm very intentional about those relationships. I call home every day without fail. I speak to my child all the time, twice sometimes. I make time for her. She's priority. And even when we do group work, if she calls me or I get a text that says she needs to be called, there's nothing else. I call her. And even with my partner, we talk every day. I make time for those things because I'm intentional about those relationships. I want to keep them. Same goes for my friends. I write an email. Like sometimes they'll be reaching out and I won't have the time, or I just won't be in the correct headspace to attend to them at the time. But when I'm okay, I write to them. Long emails, long texts, voice notes, whatever, Zoom calls, and just make the time to talk to them, And the thing is, what I realized is that with social media, we think we are keeping connections when we aren't. So a few days ago, maybe last week, a friend of mine, we made a Zoom call and we spoke for an hour. And she was asking me about somebody else. When last did you speak to this one? I'm like, oh, I commented last week. And as I said this, I was like, that's not the same thing as actually making a call, because commenting and saying, oh, nice legs or nice ass, whatever, nice legs or nice picture, whatever you say, is not the same thing as actually asking people how you're doing. So if you are leaving your friends and family and going to study abroad, be intentional about your relationships, especially the ones that matter. The other lesson that I learned, it is so important to make friendships where you go, in the country that you're going to, because sometimes when things get hectic, the circle of friends that you have may just be the only thing you have to keep you sane. So this experience for me, I had to learn quite early when I first arrived here. I got here in September, and then about 2 months. I got here in August, and I was in quarantine, and then I started my classes in September. When I left South Africa, I was dropped off at the Qatar embassy by my brother. 2 months later, he passed away. And that was really difficult. I have known this person. I'm calling my brother, and for the rest of this video, I'm going to be calling my brother, but we actually met as friends. And we became that close that I regard him as my brother. His death was, I didn't expect it. I'm talking about someone who's fit, trains all the time, eats healthy, takes care of himself generally, and is he looks healthy, and he was a healthy dude, right? And then he got into an accident. So that was like a blow that I didn't expect. And I really struggled with that. And you can imagine how hard it was being so far from home, and with COVID, it wasn't just as easy as, okay, cool, I'm gonna get onto the next flight and go home. I couldn't. So the funeral happened. Luckily, we were able to do everything on Zoom, so I was able to see the streaming of the funeral. But I was here. And if I was alone, dealing with this alone, I don't think I would have made it. I will not even lie to you. Because that week, we had some hectic assignments, and we were also adjusting to do project work. So my group also needed me. But because we were starting to form some sort of a friendship, they were there for me that time. And I also have Okani, who knew that I would probably not be eating or anything, and she brought me food. When she came, I was like, oh, I'm not hungry. And then like maybe an hour and a half after she left, I'm like, I actually haven't eaten. Then, so her coming and taking care of me really meant a lot, because I was, oh my God. And during the weekend of his funeral, my other friend from Copenhagen, Portia, came over to stay with me. And I really, really appreciate that, because that was hectic. So you do need to also have relationships this side, because you don't know what could happen, and you don't know the kind of support that you need. So forming friendships here helps a lot. Well, not necessarily here in Denmark, but wherever you are, helps a lot, because when tough times do come, then you're able to be there for people. And it also just helps that you're able to socialize, and when you're looking at it from the perspective of growing in your career, then you're growing also your network. So there's also that. And then the biggest thing, the last point, time management. That's a big thing. This got not just me, I think it's also a lesson for my group mates from the first semester. We felt it because the way that the course is structured, we do coursework, 3 courses, and then there's a project every semester, right? The project is normally the last thing that we do, and then the coursework, we do it at the beginning of the semester. So last semester, we didn't do anything project related until we were done with the coursework. So we didn't have much time. So that was a big lesson on time management. And if I learned that, I hope that you learn it. I hope that you don't wait to be in a position like me before you learn. Just learn from what I'm telling you, right? So time management is a big thing. So just to recap the points I spoke about: empty your mind, be open-minded. There's going to be new experiences. Be ready for all of them. And I think the other biggest thing is the language thing. So that gets to you. That gets to you, because sometimes you find that maybe they only have one reference book and it was written in Danish, which as it was in our experience, or written in that language, and there really is nothing that the lecturer might do. So you need to know that means you have to be creative. You have to find ways to make sure that this works for you. And then that's where networking and having friends come in handy, because if your friends know the language, then they can help you out. And also, if you go to the shop, sometimes you find that some people really don't know English and they try to work with you. So if you're going to come there stiff thinking, they need to accommodate me, sometimes you might just be making things and you'll stay difficult for yourself. So really open your mind and expect that some relationships that you had before you left to study abroad might not work as well as they did. And you need to be intentional about the relationships you want to keep, your close relationships. And you need to make friends where you go, because it gets lonely. The last one was time management. So I hope that these 5 points, you guys learned a thing or two from them. And if you're preparing to go study abroad, I hope that these are things you'll consider as you leave. So thank you.